Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is a video that is probably not intended for everyone. It's for people who've read the Dresden Files or who are interested in them. I know that's not everybody, but you know, this is a video that I've just really wanted to make. So I thought, why not? I've actually been wanting to make this because the 16th book in the Dresden Files just came out last week and I just finished it a few days ago. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of see where it ranks amongst all these other books and just kind of rank all of them in general. So I came up with 4 categories. I've got the first category is this is why I love the series. So that's going to be, you know, it's one of my favorites. It's wonderful. It's why I love the series. It's really good is the next category. It's what you'd expect from this type of novel, like a, you know, wizard, private detective or something. And finally, you know, it's still a Dresden Files novel, so I still like it, but it's not near as good as all the other ones. So it's still good. Like, I'm not saying any of these are bad. They're all good. I've all read them all multiple times except for the new one. Okay, so let's get started and let's see where I put these. Okay, so the first one is Stormfront. And of course, it's good because it's the first one and it's what got me interested in it. But it is what you'd expect. Oh no, I'm already torn. I mean, it is really good because it is the first one. So yeah, the words got cut off. It should say Stormfront. I'm going to put it really good because it's the first one. Full Moon is the second one. It's the one about werewolves. He's not really gotten into the whole like lore of the world yet at this point, and it's sort of slow moving compared to the other ones. I'm going to say it's still Dresden Files, but it's actually probably one of my least favorites. It might be my next to least favorite, actually. Grave Peril, book 3. He has to fight like this nightmare thing, and that's all I kind of remember. It's been a while since I've read some of these. It was good, but it's pretty much what you'd expect from this type of novel, I suppose. Okay, Summer Night, book 4. This is the one that finally really got me into the series more so. Like, I liked the first 3, but I was like, yeah, whatever. But this one, you know, it had like all the lore of all the fairy queens, like the Summer Lady and the Winter Knight and all that sort of stuff. So the lore made it really, I'm going to say really good. Okay, number 5 is Death Mask, and it is what solidified my love of the Dresden Files. It is going, and this is why I love the series. There are 2 scenes in it that are my 2 favorite scenes of all of the Dresden Files. And I mean, the plot's fine in this one, but it's like somebody stole the Shroud of Turin, and he has to go and track it down and figure out who did it. And this evil person that uses this like coin to have a fallen angel like kind of attached to him to give him extra powers is his arch nemesis, and he pops up in every 5. Oh my gosh, that was bad. Okay. He pops up in like every 5 books. So like book 5, 10, 15, he's kind of the villain in those. But it's got some of the best scenes. All right, the next one is Full Moon. Oh wait, did something go wrong here? That was there. Okay, Blood Rites is book 6. And I do remember it being pretty good. Vampires. Honestly, since I don't remember too much about it compared to the other ones, I'm going to put it in what you'd expect. Now, Deadbeat and Proven Guilty, 7 and 8, I'm going to throw in here together. I always think of these 2 together for some reason, and maybe because I read these pretty quickly together, I didn't have to wait for, you know, any books to come out. I'm going to put both of them in really good, and I think that's because they are the funniest. So if you read these and you don't like these 2, then you probably won't really like the series that well. So these 2 are definitely some of the best. Oh, and in case you don't know much about the Dresden Files, the titles are all the same amount of letters. So like Deadbeat, each one has 4 letters. Proven Guilty, 6 letters. Blood Rites, Grave Peril, Full Moon. There's in fact only one that doesn't follow that pattern, and there's a reason. The next one's called White Knight. So I believe this one was also about vampires. There's different types of vampires. So this was like White Court vampires. And I remember it being good, but since it doesn't stand out to me, I'm going to go ahead and put it was what you'd expect from this type of novel. Small Favor. Yeah. Okay, so he owes a favor to Queen Mab. Like, she's the winter queen of the fairies, basically the queen of the winter fairy court. And I did like that it started getting into like he owes her favors and stuff. Turncoat was, I don't think it was as good, but there was a traitor on their council, the White Council. So he had to figure out who that was. Changes, oh my gosh, Changes will just destroy you when you read that one. Literally every single thing in his life changes. This book is the craziest book in the series. It is wild. It is definitely like nothing else. So, and that's why it's only one word and it's a totally different, style for the title. Ghost Story is pretty much kind of universally either liked or hated. A lot of people don't like Ghost Story. I am one of them. It follows Changes, which leaves off with a cliffhanger. And Ghost Story doesn't even seem like hardly a full story. Like, the premise is great. Like, it could have been such a good story, but I just didn't really like it. I thought it was really boring, and it's so slow moving compared to all the others. It's definitely a different format than all the other ones. Most of them pretty much have the same format. Like, a bunch of bad things start happening to Harry all at once within the first 50 pages, and it's just this happens, and this happens, and then this happens. Now he's got all these things on his plate, and he's got to deal with them all at once together. But this one is not quite like that, which you'd think would be good, but it doesn't work. Cold Days is my other favorite. It's probably my actual favorite. So it's why I love the series. It's funny. It's crazy. I can't tell you anything about it because spoilers, but crazy stuff starts happening. He's kind of got a new role, like a new job that he has to do now. And it's really intense, and it's more about himself now and how he's changing, and he's not quite the person he was at the beginning. He's a little more hardened and jaded now, and he's starting to wonder if he's in league with the bad guys an awful lot lately, so he's starting to wonder if he's one of the good guys anymore. Skin Game, also really good. I forgot how good Skin Game was until I reread it. I would have probably said really, really good, except then I realized, oh my gosh, it's one of the reasons I love the series. It was great. I love Skin Game. Everything about it was perfect. It was number 15, so that bad guy I was talking about before comes back. Peace Talks is the newest one, so I just read it. I'm still trying to kind of process it. Until I reread it, it's going to be hard to say. But it's only half a story. In case you haven't heard, these two books are basically the same story, Peace Talks and Battleground. And he wrote both of them, but it was going to be too long, so he's cut them in half, and they're coming out just a few months apart. So it's half of a book, and I feel like it's the slower moving half of the book. I mean, crazy things start happening at the end to lead into the next one. But it's still really, really good. So I'm going to put it in really, really good. And I just put this one on here to predict, because I know stuff is going to be crazy in this book. These last few books, if you haven't read the whole rest of the series, you can't just pick these up because they are continued now. Like these earlier ones, like Full Moon and Grave Peril, you could probably just pick it up and read it without having read any of the rest of them. Battleground, I think because it's going to continue these stories and have all these characters we've grown to love and crazy things are going to happen. The way it left off with Peace Talks, I mean, I think it's going to be right up there. So my prediction is it's going to be in the top tier while I love the series. So I'm excited that 4 books made it onto the top one. And as you can see, I mean, a lot made it into the second category. And these were fine. And then these two, every time I have to reread these, I'm like, oh yeah, it's these two. Yes, these are definitely my least favorite. So that's kind of enlightening. I highly recommend the Dresden Files book for anyone that likes reading fantasy novels at all. It is like urban fantasy because it's set in Chicago. So it's set in the real world. But they are wonderful. The lore is great, and I highly recommend it. So go check them out if you haven't. And thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye.